All right, welcome, welcome, welcome. Oh, you know what? All right, I forgot I wanted to post something and I did. Okay, so welcome to My FX Buddies, the podcast. And I say that because there's other places where you can find My FX Buddies. All right, so it is March 1st. It's a new month full of new possibilities, right? Okay, but I'm still in the old same places. Amazon Podcast, Apple Podcast, Spotify.com has audio and video. What else? Rumble and the Tube. Um, my FX Buddies. Anywhere that I post this information is under my FX Buddies. Okay. Um, so but the best place to go is what? The blog, which is what, if you're looking at video, that's what you're looking at. And to get there, it's myfxbuddies.blogspot.com. And I know that's a lot to type. So, wherever you are, if you look for a more info, intro, open, description, some button of that nature, if you click on that, another box opens and it has a link directly to the blog. All right. So, I wanted to share this. Someone shared this with me. The fact that you aren't where you want to be should be enough motivation. And it's funny because I had gotten a message from a different place. Why aren't you where you want to be? I was like, dang, okay. But that I don't even know how to make these little things. And clearly I took a picture of the computer screen, right? That's why it looks like it looks. But anyway, yeah, so new month, try some new things just for those who are, trying to build something, a business, a family, a life, something. Get going, right? Okay, so that's that. And that's at the very bottom of the blog. All right, so today, and remember, I was like, oh, I don't think I'm going to have anything to post. Um, and it could have waited, but you know, you just never know with the rock. One day you think it's going to be quiet and then it's not. So I said, let me do this. Anyway, so I already said it's March 1st, right? All right, yeah. So the title article, IOC, and I was like, what is IOC? What is that, right? And it is it's right here. I believe it stands for International Oil Companies. So it says IOCs demand written agreements, payment surety, APIKUR Spokesperson. So then that's a repeat of the title. And then as they do, the first sentence usually says the same thing. But here it says Caggins. So this is this guy. He looks AI generated to me. I know he's a real person though. In fact, I think he was in the military at one time. I've seen a picture of him in the military. But so here's an interview. It's on Twitter. And you know me, I don't know, but maybe Twitter doesn't let you embed videos. I don't know. So let's see, what is this? Picture in picture, video settings. Anyway, so it's pretty interesting to hear him. He's American, I believe. He speaks really good English, so I'm not sure. But yeah, so you could either find this on Twitter, or what I'm gonna do on the blog, I'm gonna put a post. Oh, oops, sorry, I'm on the wrong. There we go. I'm gonna put a link under this article, so right here, I'm gonna put a link to that Twitter, X, whatever, interview, and it's only 6 minutes, and it's interesting. What they say makes sense, but it also leaves out some things that we know, right? All right. Okay. So I learned some things. So he spoke exclusively to Kurdistan 24, which is a news channel. And his full name, oh yeah, see, Colonel Miles B. Caggins III. Yeah, so he's the spokesperson, blah, 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 right? So the oil will not proceed with production and exports unless they get clear, binding agreements. All right? So, same thing here. It talks about how much oil and when and all of that. We need agreements in writing. But we know what? If they put the agreements in writing, it's going to have all the details. And the details are going to leak out, right? And that's part of the problem. They don't want the details leaking out. I mean, at least that's what a lot of us think, right? But what if it's something more sinister? I don't know, but hopefully it's not. He said, these are called sales agreements and lifting agreements. Our companies need to know that when they produce oil, they will get payment and the path for payment. So now what does that mean? What do you mean by path? So read this down here. Caggins illustrated the issue with a simple analogy. I was at a restaurant in Zakho a couple of days ago, and I had breakfast. The restaurant owner understood that if he gave me chai, I was going to pay him in Iraqi dinar. So if we had any doubt, there's confirmation that people are using dinar, right? It's the same concept. If our companies are producing oil, they need to know how and when they will get paid. Now, as far as my understanding, and I've seen the contracts, their oil is to be priced and bought in USD. Now, is Sudani trying to change that? Is that a problem? Is that part of the problem? They want to sell it in dinar? I don't know, right? Some people think they are already, but I haven't seen that in writing. What I've seen in writing is Iraqi oil sales in USD, prices and sales in USD. So, and then it's also important that the contracts are consistent with the budget law, and that's another thing they always preach. Or, I know I shouldn't say preach. Discuss, express. There we go. So plans need to be written on paper and agreed to for how the companies will get repaid and when. So see, how? Why is that a question? Why is that a question? And when they will get repaid. So let's see. Yes, he's asking for a clear financial roadmap. See, all of these things, they just seem like normal, sensible things that you do in a business transaction, right? So he says, you see, it all comes back to these written agreements. He reiterated, we cannot do business based on press statements and tweets. Even he says tweets. So if a colonel is still saying tweet and Twitter, I don't feel bad about saying it. We need agreements on paper, right? Seems reasonable enough. So yeah, so that came out. I thought that was interesting. I wanted to share that with you. Here's a much shorter article, but this is really big news over there. And I guess wherever people are watching, right? Because I'm not over there, but it's really big news to me. Tuesday, there's a big meeting with the Ministry of Natural Resources in the Kurdistan region to discuss issues related to the concluded contracts and reach understandings that contribute to the development of oil fields and blah, 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 right? So that's going to be a pretty big meeting. Okay, and here's Mohammed Saleh. And I thought I had bolded that. I don't know why it's not, but whatever. Financial advisor, central bank digital currency will boost transparency and improve national payments. So this is today, Saturday. It came out again. So they're still talking about this digital currency. It will be an important step towards enhancing transparency. Yeah, for them, right? Um, it it uncovers everything that we do, right? But don't kid yourself. The elite, they're not getting on that CBDC program. But anyway, and achieving a qualitative leap in the national payments system. So yeah, now is this the one? It even tells you. He added the digital currency will allow tracking financial flows, improve control over capital and foreign transfers, and support anti-money laundering offers. And who doesn't want that, right? Who doesn't want to support anti-money laundering efforts? Yeah, so more of the same, but again, it was today, it came out. It was big news. Okay, this is not such big news, but it's interesting because Najaf is where Sadr lives. In fact, sometimes it's called Sadr City. He doesn't like that, so he says. But sometimes the people call it Sadr City. So the U.S. Embassy delegation went to Najaf and spoke to the governor there, to enhance economic, trade, and investment relations. And also, one thing I'm not going to let people forget, Sadr was causing all those problems, right? Having his millions of followers out in the street. And he had a meeting with, I believe, Sadani. And they were like, so, my friend, what do you need? It was Sadani, yeah. And he was like, I need my own electrical grid. And could you upgrade the buildings of the shrines, that all the tourists come to see? And guess what? After that, you haven't heard Sadr telling his people to get out in the street anymore. And they have started building him. It might even be done now, right? Because I think it's been more than a year. They started building him his own electrical grid. and they always take care of those the shrines. They wash them by hand. Okay, geez, I just admitted. Yes, I have watched the shows that show them how they have the gold. I don't know if it's real gold or not, but then there's one that's just real pretty green. They wash them by hand. They tie themselves to something and they get up there. One guy was even barefoot because I don't know, maybe you can't have shoes on them, right? But anyway, so yeah. So anytime I see people going to visit Najaf, I raise my eyebrow, right? For his part, the delegation praised the role played by Najaf in promoting peace and moderation in the region. For now, right? Because it seems Sadr is going to come back to politics. And then he's really in the news right now because they're asking him questions. His followers are asking him, can we smoke during Ramadan? What's overeating? Some guy got a tattoo of Sadr on his forearm, and they're like, do you approve of this? I'm like, it's a little late. You already got it there. Maybe you should have asked before you got it. But yeah, so Sadr's in the news a lot, but not for, and condemning, he always comes out and condemns stuff. But anyway, all right, so here we have, another article with Mohammed Saleh. There he is, if you don't know what he looks like. Digital currency is a qualitative leap that improves oversight and supports combating money laundering. So yeah, another version. But I think, is this the one he talks about the people? No. Okay. All right. So this step will achieve many benefits, including reducing cash leakage, lowering printing costs, and limiting the circulation of paper currency outside the banking system. Yeah, that's a dig at the people. That's a dig at the people holding the money in their homes, right? In addition to reducing the need to print money repeatedly, blah blah blah. So yeah, all right, and he explained that digital cash will maintain its traditional functions as a unit of account, and that is one of the names. If you are, let me see, if you like to watch, what's that brand of movie? Action? Sci-fi? Action? I don't know. iRobot. iRobot is one of the movies where Will Smith's character buys some drinks at a cafe, and I think it says financial unit credits, credit unit of credits, right? It doesn't say money. My point is, it doesn't say money, but that, where did it go? Where did it go? Oh, duh. Unit of account is one of the phrases that they are throwing out there for when we go, digital, which I hope is not in my lifetime. All right, there's my one commercial. If you like what I do, you want to support me, and thank you to those who have. This is a link. Buy me a copy, and there's the QR code. All right, this was the second largest news that was out today. Iraq among the best in the world in controlling the sale of the dollar. And as soon as I read that headline, I was like, yeah, because we're auditing them. Every step they make, there's an auditor there watching them. So, of course. But yeah, so you could read. This is the most comprehensive one because a lot of people have been sending me this, like chopped up versions. Like I always say, when they really want the people to see something, they'll post an article. It'll have the same. It'll be the same article but a different headline. They'll make them like small, shorter versions. So this is pretty much the longest one. So I'll just read a little bit. Oh, and I should have said this is going to be a short one because there's a lot of news. You can imagine if you saw what happened in the Oval Office yesterday. That's in all their news. What else? Something else that happened. There's another like major type of. Oh, the UK, because the same guy who was in the Oval Office today, he went to the UK, so they're showing him. There's lots of news about what's his name, Kazemi, stuff like that doesn't have anything to do with the RV. And like, I didn't want to drag this out. I just wanted to hit the points that I thought were the best, right? All right. So yeah. So Aliyah Locke, the central bank governor, confirmed today, Saturday, that Iraq has become one of the best countries in the world in controlling the sale of the dollar. He was interviewed by the official agency. Iraq today has become one of the best countries in the world in controlling the sale of the dollar as this process is carried out with transparency and accuracy. And through it, the citizen verifies his documents and his departure from the country, because remember, the travelers, right, can get dollars, explaining that this mechanism is the most disciplined, transparent, and controlled in the world, as indicated by international experts. And that's good. This is a positive article, right? But they're leaving out that the auditors are there, because guess what? If the auditors weren't there, they would just go right back to what they were doing before, right? I know it's cynical or whatever, critical, whatever. Cynical, yeah, it's cynical to think that way, but I'm realistic. All right. So he also added, Aliyah Locke added, false news and media distortion may harm the interests of Iraq in the banking sector, stressing the importance of being proud of the major developments witnessed by Iraq. Yeah, so, so that's good. So it was a good, quiet day. They're doing all their beginnings of Ramadan. So yeah, all right. I'm expecting it to be a good, quiet day tomorrow too. So right now, I'm looking at Tuesday for this meeting. I don't see what else could be. I was gonna say important. I don't mean that though. Uh, yeah. So that, and then also the dollar to dinar rate does continue to decrease. In fact, it's 1467 dinars per dollar, and that is good. Nowhere in the country is it over 1500. If you believe what they post, but since I'm not there, that's what I have to go by, right? All right, so that's it. I'm not going to stretch this out any further. I hope this was helpful. I hope this will get you through the weekend. It gets hard, right? Because through the week, you got calls and video shows and, all kinds of stuff. Then the weekend, everyone's off, right? So, yeah. And again, I'm going to put that. Another thing that's kind of creepy about the interview is the person that's asking the questions, their audio doesn't come through. So don't think it's your device if you're going to go watch it. And it looks like he's just staring blankly into space, but he's not. He can hear the questions. We can't. So there'll be space in between. Yeah, so there's nothing wrong, and it's not your device. For some reason, we're just not hearing the questions being posed. But he does a good answer. He's been well trained, I'll tell you that. He does a good job. You can, by his answer, you can kind of tell what the question was. Yeah, and that's good. Good training. Anyway, all right. Thank you for new subscribers and likes and all that stuff. And the support. So if wherever you are watching or listening has a join, follow, subscribe, like, share, whatever type of button, because I don't post regularly. So if you sign up or whatever, when I do post, if all things work as they're supposed to, you'll be notified, right? And yeah. So thanks. Did I say I didn't? Look at that. I almost forgot. Accumulate while we wait for the rate to appreciate. Don't miss any meals and pay all your bills. And until next time.